folks, so this is not a typical video that I would do. This is literally an old barn find Toyota that a feller had in storage for 10 years, well 8 years. He said he had it going a year ago. Through this video, towards the end we'll figure out that he did something kind of a little sketchy to get it going a year ago. But he got it going just to pull it outside so he could put other stuff in the barn. And I bought it. Weather has been real crap lately, so you're gonna see some video, some pictures, little clips, little stuff here and there that I could shoot when I was outside, because I'd be out 5-10 minutes working on it and then I have to go back inside working in the rain and the snow. So I don't know how long it's gonna be, but it'll be a bunch of different stuff. It's worth watching though, to see me get this whole thing going and parking, and there will be other videos on this. I basically did just enough to get it going so I can move it around the yard and then bring it up to the shop and work on it when I have time. So if you're gonna stick around, thanks for watching, and if not, that's fine. We'll catch you on another video. See you later. Okay, so it's hard to believe, but the day has finally come where we get to see if this old Toyota will even start and run. Now, we've had a lot of shit weather, which prevented me from filming because I'd come out for 5 minutes and work on it, then it would be raining. And anyway, I did take a bunch of pictures and some short videos that I'll put together at the end, but let's go over what we've done so far. So for brakes, new wheel cylinders, new front calipers, new brake lines, new flex lines, low proportioning valve to the axles. Everything is new except for the pads or the shoes, but they were good anyway. Up front here, new flex lines, and then the little intermediate line. For some reason Toyota put, they go from steel to flex, then back to steel to the caliber, because it's the caliber doesn't float, it's rigidly mounted. On the other side, same thing, but I also had to replace the line coming down because that had a hole in it. Let's look at the frame. So this side still has to be fixed. Over here, so I did the same thing inside and out. You can see this line here. So from here down, under, and back up the other side. So basically the bottom 1.5 inches of this frame is new. On this side from here to here, and on the other side from here back to here. And then I also plated it where it transitions over here. So there's a cross member that goes through. Kind of the same thing here. I got a plate around the cross member here. I got a plate here, and that's not weld, that's just undercoat. So same thing, from here down is new. And then I plated here because this is a stress point. On any frame, any truck frame, the weakest point of your frame is right here. Because you think about it, you got your box mounts on here, and that reinforces everything this way. Your cab mounts here reinforces everything here, but this little section of frame, and this one's only a few inches, but some of them, they're quite long. There is nothing other than the frame there. So that's one spot you really got to pay attention to. So today we're going to stick a gas tank in it, put some fuel in it, and see if this thing actually starts. So we're going to set you up in a tripod. I think I'll put it on time lapse because this is going to take a while. We'll get this tank bolted in. I'm just going to put 2 bolts in it for now because it might have to come back out. But I want to get this truck so I can move it around the yard. So let's get going. Okay, so that actually went pretty good. One thing I had to redo or replan. I didn't have enough sticking up to get at these front bolts. Kind of hard to get at. If you find yourself in that situation and you don't have a flange head on your nut or on your bolt, stick a nut in there and that'll give you what you need. So I just got 2 bolts in the tank, and there's no straps on this model. It's just 3 bolts in the back, 3 in the front, but there's a skid plate that goes there, and it uses, I think it's 2 bolts front and 2 back. So I think I've got the ones that don't interfere with it. But anyway, let's hook this up. Jasmine, gotta keep an eye on my dog. So I got a few different things on the go here. We got a real haggard wiring harness here. Yeah, you stay over here. My dog's trying to sneak over to see the neighbor's dog. Hey, Jazzy. Come here. Come here. Someone wants to be a soap. Yeah, I know. You want the house? Toes cold? Let's put you in the house. Alright, so we're just gonna twist these together for right now, and if it actually works, we'll come back, and I think I'll probably solder in some weatherproof connectors so it can be unplugged in the future. But for right now, we just want to avoid blowing fuses. We got this white wire, which is connected to nothing up front, so get that out of the way. I think it's for reverse lights. Here's my pliers. Okay, that one's too short anyways. I think the last guy, I think he started taking the tank off and then put it back on, because I know it was in storage for 8 years, this truck was, and then he started working on it again a year ago. He said a year ago he got it running, drove it outside, and then never actually did anything with it, he said. He said he just started up, had it going just long enough to get it outside. And then when last winter started, last fall, he put it on Kijiji, and nobody messaged him about it, which I find hard to believe, since it's a Toyota. But in our area, very few people use Kijiji anymore. It's all Facebook Marketplace now. So anyway, I got it. The tank's full of rust with water in it. So this is a brand new tank, and I sprayed rock guard all over it just to give it an extra little layer of protection. Let's see what I should do. Make sure I get. Oh, I forgot the vent. The return line on. It is going to take a little bit. We'll put it back on time lapse, and I'll get that bin I forgot and go from there. Well, I got it. Now, before I came out this morning, I said to myself, no matter what happens, hook that line up first. And I didn't. That was a cunt. But anyways, we got that hooked up. Now our sending unit is a 3-wire on the truck, and the one that came from eBay is a 2-wire. Now there is one wire that matches the right color. I assume the brown is signal, and maybe I have to put the other one to ground. I don't know. I have to do some metering on that. But first, let's see if this thing will start. I'm gonna pause you guys. I'm gonna run over and get some gas and throw in this, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I got $10 in gas in it. It should be enough. I can't hear the fuel pump, so let's do a little investigating. So I know absolutely nothing about this truck, including where the fuel rail is. Something that's unplugged. That's just vacuum anyways. Okay, found the fuel rail. Or what I believe to be the fuel rail. Yeah, there's the injectors. That's the fuel rail. This looks like the fuel line. I'm going to crack that, and then we'll cycle the key and see if we're getting any fuel. $17. Yep. Yep, I can smell fuel. Old fuel, but Alright, we're not getting fuel. Let's set back up behind the truck. Alright. So, first we see if the fuel pump's working. Volts AC/DC. Now this is a brand new fuel pump. And the wiring should all be pretty good. I soldered the connections in the tank, and I soldered the connections up here, but these here ones I just did today are shit. This is exactly why I didn't solder these. I did not want to have to cut apart solder joints. Plus now it's got fuel in it, even though I got it taped up here. I don't want to be running a heat source right next to the fuel tank. Get in there. There's the wire. Interesting. To the frame, I got almost nothing. To the brake line, oh, I guess it's gone away. I also get almost nothing. We'll find a place to stick this now. This truck has a section of Cooper nickel brake line. I'm just using that for the ground because it's the only thing on here not covered in a layer of rust. I'll leave that running. I'll go hit cycle the key and see if there's power. Need this back in there. Alright, I've done a bit of a deep dive. I've eliminated this relay, I replaced that. Then I came in here, I tore the dash all to pieces to get at this friggin' relay that's up there. And I blew a fuse trying to test that. Still no power back here, so I started following the wiring harness and oh look, it's unplugged. So let's plug this back in and see if it starts. I don't see anything happening. Fuse is good. I'm not making much progress on this project. Okay, stuff's happening. Stuff's happening. All right. Now, I'm trying to think what was wrong. There was a number of things wrong. Number one, the first thing that was fucking me up was that I didn't look close enough at the wires to the fuel pump. I didn't notice that the white wire had a black tracer. So I had the fuel pump hooked up backwards. Reverse polarity. The other problem, which I suspect the last owner knew, because when I tore apart the dash to get at the second fuel pump relay, anyways, that's bad. I had to bypass that. Every time I did that, I was blowing the fuse up here. No, I did that and nothing was happening because there was a wiring harness that was unplugged. I plugged that back in, then I started blowing that fuse. Then I figured out that the pump was reverse polarity. After, I think this is the fourth fuse, could not figure out what the hell was going on. Changed the wiring on the pump, did that, and she's running. Or the truck's not running, the fuel pump is running. So I'm gonna see if it starts. I'm not gonna leave it running. Let that hang, because I want that gas to evaporate. But let's shitty camera work, I know. Oh yeah, I've zoomed in. There we go. Mind the fingers. Let's see if this baby starts. So, I think, based on what I'm seeing, when he started this a year ago to bring it outside, he put power directly to the fuel pump. I'm positive that's what he did. That's why the wires are spun up, and plus the relay didn't work. It would never work if it didn't. So he hot wired the fuel pump, got it running a year ago. Prior to that, it's been going on 9 years since this truck was started. Let's start. Probably got old fuel in the fuel reel. She runs. All right, so I'm gonna shut it off. Sounds like I got an exhaust leak around the cat somewheres. Two things inhibiting it from starting. Well, three things really. Old fuel in the fuel rail, although I purged what was in the line out when I cracked it. Still being a little bit in the fuel rail. You know, that compared with just not running for a decade. So when it did start, I just had to put both feet in the truck so I could press on the gas, give it some more air. And it started up, it was running kind of rough. Also, it was in gear. So when it did start and let off, it was running kind of rough because it was turning the transmission. Even though the transfer case is in neutral, that's why it could do that. And yeah, it's working, it's running. Let's take a look at my Tygon back here. I still haven't Googled the fuel pressure on this truck. Well, it wouldn't matter on the truck anyway. It would be the fuel pressure for that God knows what pump. So that Tygon, that's only good for 50 psi. So I'll have to see what the see what that pump puts out. I'll see if I can find it on my Amazon list. Anyway, we're gonna call this video for now. I'll put a little bit, some B-roll in there, like all the short videos I did, all the little pictures, and I'll probably get a clip of me just driving this truck over and parking it somewhere, not in front of my garage. So thanks for watching. I know this is a long one. I really appreciate you hanging in to the end, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, I just want to make a quick little video to say why I hate disc brakes. So this is part of the Toyota I'm working on. This link here and this cable are both part of the emergency brake. And one cable was broken off, and then the other link is completely missing. Everything was taken apart when I got it. So I had to make them, and this isn't the first time I've had to do this. And I don't know why you can't buy a spring kit or hardware kit that has them in them, but you just can't.